Thank you, Serena. What's up, South by Southwest? How we doing? All right, we got a jib, we got a camera jib. That's how you know this session is going to be legit. I'm so excited to have you guys here. Last year when I did a talk, we had an encore room, and there's so many people. I'm wondering how many people were at last year's talk? Cool. All right, I revamped this whole presentation with new material, and I wanted to actually start off with a little bit of a confession. You know, I worked at YouTube for 5 years. I worked in Instagram for 3 years. I now have been a full-time creator for 4 years, making content with big creators from Mr. Beast to Marquez Brownlee. But if I have to be totally honest with you guys, I still get massive anxiety every time I go to click the upload button. Even to this day, every time I go to hit that upload button to work on a new video, I just got to show you guys what my desktop looks like. So I finished the video. I go to save it as final.mp4. But then at the last minute, I take a look at the coloring. And I'm like, ooh, wait, we could up the contrast. We can make this more vibrant. Let's resave it as final_final. And then I'm like, wait. There's something off about the audio. I can make this sound a bit crisper. I think this part could be better. So I go ahead and save it as final_actually.mp4. OK, we got it. I keep repeating this process 26 more times until my desktop looks like this. And if I'm being honest with you, I sometimes don't even upload the video because I don't feel like it's perfect enough. And this got so bad in my first year that I only had 6 uploads. 6 uploads in my first year as a full-time YouTuber after I left my cushy tech jobs. And I got to be honest, the timing of all this was really bad. Like, really bad. Oh my God. I had left my jobs, and my wife and I just found out we're having our first baby girl. I'm getting goosebumps seeing this back. And I only had 9K subscribers. Like I'm here, like, going into the deep end. Baby on the way. We have a dog, which, by the way, if you have a dog before a baby, like, God bless you. It is one of the hardest things. Like, it's good training, but it's very hard. And today I want to talk to you a bit about how we went from that to now having 718,000 subscribers. Thank you. Thank you very much. We recently broke a world record, a Guinness World Record, for the largest behind-the-scenes crew on a TV show for our official docuseries that we did with Mr. Beast. My wife is now my business partner and producer, and we somehow are making enough to pay for daycare in LA, which is a high bar, and make a living for our team and for our 2-year-old daughter, Eve. And we've been able to grow this YouTube channel across short form and long form. Many of our videos are episodes. We do interviews, we do behind the scenes, we do breakdowns, get 2 to 3 million views a piece. And today I want to talk to you a bit about some of the things I couldn't talk about when I was inside YouTube and Instagram, and some of the things that I think so many people miss being a full-time creator, or being a social media manager, or working at a company, or just trying to get more eyeballs on whatever it is that you're trying to get attention for. Because having done this and having done content that I can't believe we're making right now, to the point where we actually went on the set of Survivor and did behind the scenes with them when they did, yes, give it up for Jeff Probst, yes. And Jimmy had us there for all like 45 days of the shoot. So I can't believe some of the things we're doing. And I want to say that it is all possible. It's just all about the right blueprint and answering the question, like, what actually changed? Like, what actually changed? I've been in your seat so much, and I've seen talks like this, and I just want to say right off the bat, it is not the obvious. If you're here at South by Southwest, you're one of the smartest audiences I get to speak to. And I want to give you more than just the advice you've heard. Be consistent, be original, be authentic. You know that. That's 101. Let's go a bit deeper and talk about the tactical stuff, the modern stuff for 2026, and the screenshotable stuff. And by that I mean, I design my presentations in such a way that flash photography is encouraged. Don't be afraid to take out your phone, and if you want to tag me on Instagram at Youshaei, I try to make these so that you could take a photo, reference it back, share with your team, and have something tangible to walk away from this presentation. So expect a lot of templates, a lot of tools, a lot of freebies, QR codes. This will be an active session, and I'm hoping we'll get to Q&A afterwards, or I'll make myself available outside. I want to really, really go all out for you guys, and hopefully make this one of the best sessions that you'll attend at South by Southwest this year. Sound good? All right, let's hit it. Okay, here we go. Tip number 1, use visual anchors. I'll explain what that means in a second. The number 1 question I get, and the number 1 mistake I see people make is, what should you post where? What type of content goes where? So many people mess this up. They put stuff that should be on YouTube on X. They put things on Instagram that should just be a TikTok. And it's gotten so sophisticated now that this really matters. And honestly, if I'm being totally candid, I think the biggest mistake that most people make when they're trying to grow on social media is that they make too many videos that, quite frankly, should be an article. Period. I love video. I drink the Kool-Aid. Not everything should be a video. And I'm going to tell you how to break that down and how to make that decision. And that all stems from my interview with Johnny Harris. Amazing journalist, used to be at Vox, big YouTuber, amazing storyteller. I had a chance to interview him for our show, and I asked him, Johnny, how do you think about what ideas should be videos? You make video essays just about every week. They get millions of views. How do you make that decision? He said this quote I'll never forget. He said, if there's 1 million good stories that should be reported on, only 900 should be told as videos. Think about that ratio. And if you had to go a step further, the way to filter these ideas from article to video are this thing I like to call, and Johnny calls, visual anchors. Here's an example of what I mean. Okay, let's say you want to tell a story about inflation in Venezuela. Inflation in Venezuela is high, right? Text, words. Is there a visual anchor? Well, if you go on the streets of Venezuela, you could see that people are using the local currency that's become so devalued that they're making origami art out of it and selling the origami art of the local currency to people walking by. That is a powerful visual anchor to show you, wow, that's how bad inflation is getting versus just what most reporters would say. So right then and there, you have something that's a seed of what potentially could be a video. And I'm going to show you guys how to find these as well. So okay, we got a visual anchor. We have an idea of what that is. And here's Johnny explaining that.
I wanted to focus on the border between Colombia and Venezuela, where there was this massive migration crisis happening. And most outlets were going there and sort of filming just people coming across the border, right? When I got to the town where that was happening, I definitely went and filmed that. But then I looked around and said, like, what else is happening here? And there were a couple visual anchors that were just hiding in plain sight that no one else was covering. One of them was, there was a vendor on the side of the street who was making sculptures out of money, out of currency, Venezuelan bolivars that were now worth nothing because of the hyperinflation crisis. He was taking that and using it as a raw material to make baskets and like swan sculptures and all this stuff that ended up being like this beautiful art, but it was so symbolic. You don't have to know anything about macroeconomics, about the geopolitics of South America to see that something's going on here. This guy's using money to make sculptures. And so that was a visual anchor. That to me is the best use of video to bring somebody in and really hook them into a topic that maybe they wouldn't look at otherwise.
Boom, that right there. Visual anchor, best way to hook people into a topic. Another amazing YouTuber and journalist who coincidentally also is from Vox, Cleo Abram, came on our show and she talked about this as well and said the way you could really tell if something's a good visual anchor is if it passes the napkin test. So here's a checklist. Next time you're thinking about an idea and you're trying to figure out what social media platform should this go on, ask yourself these 3 questions as part of this napkin test. When you're explaining this idea to your friend, you, 1, have to draw anything on a napkin to prove your point. Do you have to bring out your phone to show them a photo? And do you have to repeat the words this or that to point to anything while talking? If you do, you probably have a visual anchor. And here's Cleo breaking that down.
Good video story to me is like, you know it You know what a good video is if you and I sat down for coffee and I was telling you a story about something interesting, and the moment when I need to pull out like a napkin and draw a diagram or show you something on my phone and pause it and be like, you see this? Like, that's a good video. Otherwise, it should just be an essay because that's much easier to write.
Important words to remember. And here's the ultimate breakdown of what goes where. So do you have visual anchors? If you have a lot of them, you probably have a good YouTube video on your hands. If you have a few of them, probably looking more at a YouTube short, TikTok, or Instagram Reel. If you have none, that's okay. There's still good text-based platforms out there. You're probably looking at an X post, LinkedIn, or Threads. Something to keep in mind. Okay, let's keep going. How do you find visual anchors? Use Reddit to research. How many people go on Reddit once a week? Ooh, we got to get those hands up. Okay, here's a story from my time working at Instagram. So we had a chance to work with BuzzFeed, and I was so curious about how they pick their ideas, because they, at a point in time, were the masters of virality. So they said this thing I'll never forget. They said, what shows up on Reddit on Monday ends up on BuzzFeed on Tuesday, ends up on social media on Wednesday, and ends up on Facebook next month. I'm not throwing shade at my former employer. That's what they said, you know? A little bit of truth, got to keep it real. But I thought it was so interesting, even the humor in this, there's truth in it, because they're looking at Reddit at the front page of the internet, what's breaking, and then taking a look at how they could repackage it in terms of articles, and then social media kind of catches on after. And the truth is, Reddit is a great way to find visual anchors. So I got my start on LinkedIn talking about different marketing case studies, breaking down the creator economy before we went all in and started doing interviews and behind the scenes with big creators. And one of the things I did was, and I think this is a great step-by-step process for anybody to start out and implement, is I went to Reddit, I went to a bunch of subreddits and just typed in my niche, marketing, advertising, creator economy. And I put together all these subreddits to start to find, okay, where is my community already talking? Where are they upvoting stuff to give me better signal of great visual anchors? And so there's this community that upvotes and talks about marketing campaigns, 144,000 people in it. And here's what you could do when you find that version of your community, your subreddit for your niche. Go into it for the first time, change the filters, and toggle it to all time and top. Look at the visuals, look at the images. You will now have a pipeline of visual anchors for your niche that are already vetted and already upvoted by your peers. In the advertising subreddit, you can see this post got 3,400 upvotes, and it really broke down the marketing and packaging for this angel hair pasta that was literally packaged as angel hair. So I wrote a post about that. I broke it down. Of course, you want to adapt it. You want to offer your own expertise. You want to remix it, but this is the starting point. Then, every week after that, go back to that same subreddit. Toggle by this week instead of all time. You will now have a week's worth of visual anchors right then and there. And in this case, being from LA, I found this hilarious. The city of Los Angeles was trying to hire a graphic designer. So somebody went in Microsoft Paint and put together this job post to show how in dire need they were. And honestly, it's pretty creative. And that's a word I never thought I'd use to describe a government agency. But that's what you find on your subreddit. So go there, toggle it, literally set a reminder on your calendar. Go back to your subreddit, and you go through the different ones. You could also find LinkedIn groups, Instagram pages. Like, curation is such a big thing right now that you could look to places where it's already getting vetted for you to find your visual anchors. All right, let's keep it rolling. Number 3, fix your first frame. If we were having this presentation in 2015, I'd be talking to you guys about how the first 3 seconds, the first 5 seconds, the first 30 seconds is important. We're past that. It's all about the 0-second mark, the first frame. How are you explaining your story and setting up tension right then and there? Let me give you a few examples. All right, can you immediately understand the video from only this first frame? If not, it's not simple enough. So I had this format that got 30, 40 million views a piece on YouTube, and even more on TikTok and Instagram, where I was curious to ask people about the age gap between who's more popular? Traditional celebrities, like Tom Hanks, or people who got their start on YouTube, like Logan Paul? And let's say the results were fascinating. Who are these two people?
Is that Logan Paul and I don't know who the other one.
Logan Paul, I don't know who the fuck that is.
Tom Clooney.
Tom Clooney?
That's my boy, he be fighting, and that's my man that be acting.
Well, that's one of the Pauls, and that's, why am I forgetting this?
Come on, America. Come on. Tom Hanks is a national treasure. Come on. But here's the real story of how I set up that short, because it wasn't that streamlined. It started off with what I like to call a good video for 2015, but it wouldn't work now. I started off by saying, hey guys, we're here in Hollywood asking people who's more famous, creators or celebrities. First off, we got Logan Paul versus Tom Hanks. Too long. Too long. Here we go. Next up, we're here in Hollywood asking people who's more famous, Logan Paul or Tom Hanks. Shorter, better. I started off looking at the camera, brought in the other person, we got into the format. Then I thought, okay, all right, first frame. Let me go to FedEx. Let me print out the faces of the people who I'm about to ask, hold it up, and just say, who are these two people? Have the person in frame next to me, microphone in hand. You have all the visual anchors right there to understand at the 0-second mark what the hell is going on. And if I could give a bonus tip here, in a world where everything's going digital, AI can help you generate whatever the heck you want, I encourage you to go physical. Go analog. Here's a great example from Keegan Evans, who does these amazing videos where he sets up 2 jars in front of him, and in one of them, he has like paper cards that say product, and another one, he has paper cards that say genre. And he picks out different genres, like drama or thriller, and then picks out like a product, like Pepsi or Doritos, and makes an ad right then and there, mixing those two things. But immediately, you come to that video, you see the setup in the first frame, and there's that understanding of what could happen. There's an expectation, there's a possibility, there's tension. And I was so fascinated by this when I had a chance to interview one of the goats of YouTube, Casey Neistat, about why he makes so many of his videos analog and physical, despite being on YouTube. Because he'll count things off with rice and beans and do things that are cutouts on paper instead of having graphics and motion. And he said this.
Video editing used to be a highly specialized thing. Very few people knew how to do it. 30 years ago, there was only a few video editors. And now, like, you know, my 9-year-old teaches my wife how to edit videos.
It's become too ubiquitous. So if you can't tell immediately what the video is about from only the first frame, it's not simple enough. Here's another format I had where I was fascinated by this whole difference of legacy products like Gatorade and creator products like Prime or Hershey's versus Feastables. Candy products like Sour Patch Kids and Joyride. Can we also make a short around that and set it up immediately in the first frame? So here's what it looked like. Blindfold, products in there, graphic, already there. Which of these products do you like better? Easy. But I think this could have been improved, now looking back on it. Logan Paul did an interesting bit like that for his product Prime, where he brought the bottles up when he was doing sugar count. He brought the sugar on there. Again, analog. Making it physical in a world where everything is digital will make your first frame that much stronger. And honestly, knowing how to improve your first frame is so powerful. And I'm not recommending this, guys. I'm not recommending what I'm about to show you, okay? So do not take this and apply it. You could trick people by literally putting a Shure SM7B mic looking off into the corner.
No, it's actually amazing how much more credible people will seem to think you are when you're just pretending to be on a podcast. Like, you don't even have to do that much. It's just all you really have to do is look to the side of the camera as opposed to looking into the camera. People are like, wow, he's got to be really important to be on a podcast. I'm ready to buy whatever supplement he's trying to sell me.
Don't do that. But I got to give a shout out to John over there for really showing you, again, first frame, visual cues were so conditioned. And I happen to think that audiences are very smart in these respects where you're internalizing things that you don't even know you're internalizing, to the point where looking off into the distance and a Shure SM7B mic makes it feel like you're on a podcast, like you said. So again, Visual anchors, first frame, powerful combo, use it responsibly. All right, number 4. Find outliers. Oh, wrong one. Everyone in this room has what I like to call the second mover advantage. And honestly, I am so sick and tired of hearing that, oh, it's too late to start on social media. It's too late to start on YouTube, because it is not. The market is never overcrowded for quality. And it's never been a better time to study what's worked after 15 plus years of these platforms. Find what's been an outlier, adapt it for your niche, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. Pop quiz, first off. What do these 3 videos have in common? Shout it out. No wrong answers. What? Great thumbnails. Good answer. How to do something. Okay. DIY. Okay. What? Something different like the tire. All right. What's up? For a niche? Guys, I gave you the answer. These are all outliers. These are all outliers. All those answers are correct, but these all are outliers in the respect that they way outperformed the subscriber count of these respective channels at the time it was uploaded. So Brandon, when he uploaded this, had about 29,000 subscribers. That video got 2.8 million views. Crazy 300x outlier. This video about the treehouse, 1,400x outlier. 1 week to declutter, 95x outlier. That shows you that there's an interest in that topic, that niche, that packaging, all the things that actually you guys mentioned, doing something different, shows in the data of what's happened. And again, there's 15 plus years of this data, especially on YouTube. And I had a chance to ask Mr. Beast about this. I'm like, how do you, Jimmy, find your ideas that take off, get hundreds of millions of views, and have built one of the biggest media companies in the world today? And here's what he said. He talked about how some of his early videos were outliers on other channels, like the BuzzFeed video where they compared $1 donuts to $100 donuts, and then he, Mr. Beastified it. He went to $1 versus $1 million hotels. And that's the key. You got to make it your own. You got to remix it. You got to elevate it. You could take something like I strapped a GoPro on a fish, and then he'll do it for his Reacts channel, where that's one video in a string of many that he'll adapt after finding that outlier. And here's him talking about it and breaking it down. I thought it was so interesting how you've studied outliers, and I want to talk about that video, the dollar versus series.
Yes.
Talk about the inspiration, because I don't think people realize how you came to that, and then I got a ton of follow-ups with that.
Yeah, 100%. So for the $1 versus, the thing is, we've all seen BuzzFeed did it, but also, not only did BuzzFeed, but it's just like people across every format on YouTube, beauty channels, gaming channels, everyone was doing videos where they'd compare something cheap to something expensive. And they usually did well. And what I like to do is, if I see something going viral across like multiple, formats all across YouTube, then it's like, okay, that seems to be something people really like, and they're really interested in that content. So maybe I should just do that like in a really beast way on the channel.
Find the outliers in your channel and do it in your own way. And you could do it across long form, shorts. Daniel LaBelle pioneered this format where he runs with more and more weights. I'm sure you've seen it across your TikTok, your shorts, your Instagram. So Jimmy adapted that, and he ran with more and more money as it got heavier and heavier. And I was actually with Jimmy on the day that he filmed this. And I was like, Jimmy, can I try it out? And he's like, yeah, go ahead. And here's what happened.
I gotcha. Yeah, we'll give him some help.
Oh my God, this is...
2, 1.
Yeah. I don't go to the gym much, guys. Here's how you find outliers. Go to your YouTube app on mobile, search 1 to 3 words related to your idea, and here's the key. Don't just hit the search button like normal consumers would. Sort by view count, sort by any time, sort by video, and then go look through the top videos. And then go one layer deeper and look at the most popular videos compared to the subscriber count of the channel that uploaded it. You will have found some of the best outliers in your niche. And now, again, second mover advantage. There's so many amazing tools out there that help you find outliers like that. There's no more excuses. The data is there. We just have to put in the work. Here's how to find it and just make it a bit easier than I think most people realize, because we consume YouTube mostly as consumers instead of approaching it from a creator perspective to get that inspiration, get those outliers like many of the top guys do. And by the way, anybody could do this. Like another big thing I hear after speaking in different events, talking to different creators, small businesses are like, yeah, John, I get it, but this doesn't work for a boring niche. This doesn't work for a mom and pop shop. And I'm like, oh, really? Really? Let me break down an example here along those lines. Okay. One of my favorite formats, I'm sure you guys have seen it, is this one where this guy goes on the streets and rolls out a red carpet to random strangers and just sees, who's seen these videos? I love it. Okay. And he just sees what happens. So here we go. Okay, all right. 100 out of 10. This is my personal favorite. Peace up, A-Town. Yeah. Come on. Oh. Okay, oh my God, all right. Oh, come on, come on, come on. There we go. All right, you get the point. All right, let's adapt it and let's talk about another niche, another creator. Okay, Crash Adams, amazing musicians. They take this format and adapt it and play it to their original song as a creative way to promote it. Here's that piece. Oh, come on, come on. Smart, smart. That's their original song adapted to that format that got 1 million views. All right, let's go small. Let's talk about a small local coffee shop in North Carolina. Let's just see if this format worked for them, right? How many views do you think this got, this video? I'm about to play it, but it's very similar. How many views do you think that this red carpet format for a local coffee shop got in North Carolina? 300,000? 20 million? 50K, okay. All right, 50K, 300K. All right, 20 mil, okay. Let's just play it.
Let me tell you. You my little boo thing. So I don't give a hoot what you do, say, girl, I know. You a little too tame. I'll be shooting that shot like 2K, girl, I know. Tell him I'm next. Tell him you find a little something too fresh, I know. Tell him I'm next. Tell him you find a little something too fresh, I know. Put a little gold in the teeth and the fit good, so I took the doors out the deep, okay. I see a brother holding your seat, no beef, but I'm trying to get to know you at least. Don't take my talking to your own. I can keep it chill like the Soviet blunt. I'ma keep it real when your man long gone. If you're looking for a friend and you got the wrong song, baby girl, what's good?
Okay, all right. All right, so we have 50K, 300K. How about 107 million views? Come on, whoa, I see some jaws dropping. That's right, local coffee shop, finding an outlier. And here's the thing, you can try this as well. Go on Amazon Prime, $19.99, and get this carpet and go to whatever front door is at your office, your shop, go on whatever busy street you have in your hometown and roll out the red carpet. I'm telling you, there's no excuses. There's no excuses. Things are taking off. All you have to do is adapt. I like to say there's copy and paste, but I like to say copy with taste. Find something that's working, adapt it, because everything is a remix. So along those lines, I just want to take a little pop quiz here. Like, if I were to hypothetically go on Amazon and maybe order a red carpet to the Hilton Austin and roll it out right here, I'm just curious, how many people would actually dance? Oh, okay. All right, you guys are my kind of people. And hypothetically, if I were to play this Lil Jon song right now, and if I hypothetically had a red carpet right here,
decided to cheat. Conversation got heavy. She had me feeling like she's ready to blow. Watch out! She's saying, come get me, come get me. So I got up and followed her to the floor. She said, baby, let's go. When I told her, I said, yeah. Shawty got down and said, come and get me. I got so caught up, forgot she told me. Her and my girl used to be the best of me. Next thing I knew, she was all up on me screaming. She's up in my head now, got me thinking that it might be a good idea to take her with me. She's ready to leave. Well, let's go. And I gotta keep it real now, 'cause on the 1 to 10, she's a certified 20. But that just ain't me. Hey, 'cause I know to take that chance, she swears it's gonna leave. But what I do is the way she dance makes Shawty outright breathe. The way she gets love, I'm like, yeah, just work that out for me. She asked for one more dance, and I'm like, yeah, how the hell am I supposed to leave? And I said, yeah. Shawty got down and said, come and get me. I got so caught up, forgot she told me. Her and my girl used to be the best of me. Next thing I knew, she was all up on me screaming.
all right, break it down. If you guys want to come down, last moves, come on, break it down. Break it down. Speed through. All right. There we go. All right, last ones. Give it up for them, guys, give it up for them. All right, thank you guys for coming. Yo, give it up to everybody who did that. That takes courage. Woo! Oh my God, give it up. That was amazing. Give it up for you guys one more time. I'm not gonna lie, I picked up that red card. I was like, is this gonna work? But shout out to you guys, that was awesome. You guys, this is a hell yes crowd, I love it. Okay, I'm not sure how to, okay. Why am I out of breath? Okay. All right, next tip. Score your story. It's actually a perfect bridge from talking about music to talking about the importance of music in your video. Because, okay, you don't have to be John Williams, you don't have to be Usher, you don't have to be Lil Jon, but let me tell you something. Your music matters so much more than you think. Because, guys, let's be honest, we're wearing too many hats as creators, okay? If your videos ended with credits like Hollywood films did, it would look like this. You're the producer, you're the executive producer, you're the editor, you're the stylist, you do the sound, you're the director, you're the talent. But I'm telling you, doing the sound matters so much, and people treat it as an afterthought. And if you don't score, they'll get bored, period. And I want to show you a few examples and give you a few ideas how to do that, because I didn't realize how important this was. And I'm not talking about just a few sound effects here and there. I'm talking about the difference between making people feel emotion versus feeling nothing. Case in point, I wanted to make sure you guys are the first ones to see the trailer for our new docuseries with Mr. Beast. We spent 45 days with him, and we actually made 2 different docuseries. We put one out on Amazon Prime and Jimmy's Mr. Beast 2 channel with 50 million subscribers that was about the making of Beast games. But I spent 45 days with Jimmy. I was like, Jimmy, dude, there's so much amazing content that we didn't put out yet about your YouTube shoots, about how you manage your personal life throughout, that What if I interview you and some of your biggest and most important teammates and make a proper big cinematic docuseries and put it out on our YouTube channel? Here's the trailer for that.
How much money have I given away over my career?
$10,000.
456,000. It's $1 million. Somewhere over $100 million. Very few people know what a day of my life is like. No one knows what 45 days are like.
How are we doing, Jimmy?
Nap time.
John, it's 5 a.m. and we're still not done filming?
Good night. What you're about to see is 45 days of my life.
This is going to be one of our most videos.
Something can go wrong, it will go wrong.
We're in a really bad spot.
YouTube shoots. Better be a banger. Beast games.
Do you ever get emotionally attached to contestants? That would hurt.
My personal life. Some of the lowest points of my life, some of the highest points of my life on display like never before.
Do you still enjoy doing this?
Depends on the day. I might be filming in 5 separate states tomorrow. Guys, pray for me. If you like the BTS on my channel, these are the extended cuts.
Here we go.
I'm the director.
I'm one of the executive producers, the showrunner.
I met Jimmy, we were both about 8 years old.
We had one lead.
This massive building is a soundstage for the Beast Games.
We had someone sneak to our set. John hits the hardest question. Yeah, so no one else will. That's why I told him to hang around.
Which of the news articles about you hurt the most?
Oh boy. Season 1 was tens of millions of dollars over budget. Yeah. Whoops.
We have an imminent bad weather situation.
And it was the biggest storm in decades. It was pouring and lightning.
Seconds away from dumping over a couple of $1 million worth of gear.
Oh my God, so all of that water could break.
Jimmy, pause. All power in control room went down. We didn't know if that footage was gone. We got a problem.
I never get this kind of access. I'm a little scared.
That's going to be coming out this week. I can't wait for you guys to see it. There's 5 episodes. But let me play just the beginning of it without all the music, all the sound effects. Just see if you guys feel anywhere near the same level of emotion or tension.
How much money have I given away over my career?
$10,000.
456,000. It's $1 million. Somewhere over $100 million. Very few people know what a day of my life is like. No one knows what 45 days are like.
How are we doing, Jimmy?
It's nap time.
John, it's 5 a.m. and
The right music changes the tone completely. And in that docuseries, we actually played with, it's not even just the right songs and music and sound effects in the intro, it's also in the different moments. So there's this crazy moment when we're filming behind the scenes of Beast Games episode 1 that actually one of the games, they needed to get 50 people to the next round. And to do that, they actually had to resort to a push-up contest. And here's the moment that we caught, and here's how we scored it. Here's how we put the music behind it.
You're in push-up position. Welcome to Beast City. Congratulations. How does someone this large win? Let's go!
You can feel it. Now, here's a different music.
How much money have I given away over my career?
$10,000.
You're in push-up position. Welcome to Beast City.
More elevator music, not as good. And I actually wanted to give you guys a bunch of the sound effects, music, and what we used. And actually, we've worked with our friends at Epidemic Sound. They've been great partners. They helped supply a lot of the music that we used in that docuseries episode that you're going to see. So if you check out this QR code, this is a special deal just for you guys. And I want to throw in something that I made by hand, and this is the first time I'm talking about it anywhere. It's our hack pack. I like to talk about it, some of the best tools, tips, and templates to grow on YouTube. And it includes our graphics pack, our sound effects, our intros, in addition to a ton of stuff that you'll get on Epidemic Sound with their amazing catalog of music and sound effects, because they are one of the best creator-first platforms when it comes to finding your soundtrack. So if you go to that QR link, you'll also QR code, or put in that code, you'll be able to get this hack pack if you guys follow that. So I just want to say, want to give a little bit of a freebie and give a shout out to Epidemic for all their help, but something special for you guys. But let's keep it going here. Number 6, know your one word. Know your one word. Okay. So when it comes to finding your content and breaking it down, you got to know what your one word is. And I had a chance to interview Eric, who has 18 million subscribers and has really made a name for himself. And I asked him, like, how do you think about the content you make versus the kind you don't make? And he said this.
Like when somebody says, what type of videos do you make? You should say one thing, and it shouldn't be confusing for you to explain your own thing, in my opinion. And like, that was a filter that we thought through for a long time, because I don't think ever before I've been able to explain that to somebody before. They would ask me and I would be like, I had no answer. So for us, it's the word.
What's your one word? Yeah.
The word for us is mischief. And so like, we look at that word and it's like, is the video we're talking about right now mischievous?
So how do you define it? And I'm talking about more than a dictionary would define that word. And here's how Eric defines it. And it's not just about what mischievous means for him, because he's sneaking into malls, he's doing these prank videos, but it's about how do you find that word so you know what you will not make. And here's what he said to that. Here's a few ideas that he shared with me. He was like, these are great video ideas, but not for me. These are not video ideas that align with my one word.
Will people be laughing at the end? Or will people be like, ugh, I just saw like the underbelly of society. I don't like that. If it can't be mischief and everybody's not laughing at the end, it's like chaotic good. We don't make it. It just doesn't get made. It just gets thrown to the incinerator.
And here's it. Is it playful? Will viewers laugh? Will they be disgusted? Is it chaotic good or is it evil? Like, this is his definition of his one word. I'll talk to you about how we define our one word. And here's the ideas that he's like, it doesn't qualify as good for our channel. And I think it's why he's grown to 8 million subscribers and above.
I tested the world's most deadly militaries. That's an amazing video for Austin Alexander. His whole channel is about military stuff. It's not a good video idea for me. Ideas that I also have in here that are actually pretty funny, but I won't make them, is sneaking into a zoo as a fake animal. You like that one? Should I make that video?
Pretty good idea. Not for his channel, but pretty good idea. And so I tried to think about how do other creators take one word and make multiple different videos. I took a video from you, from Ryan Trahan, and from Jimmy, and put it through a one-word filter. So we use the word spectacle or money for Jimmy, and we use the word quirky for Ryan, and we use the word mischief, like you said, for your video. The topic of island can be filtered and made so differently based on how well-defined you are on your one word. So you take that topic, island, you get 3 different videos based on spectacle, quirkiness, mischief. You could take the topic of Disney, same 3 words, 3 different videos. Spectacle is going on a $500,000 date. Stair-stepper video that Jimmy did, as he likes to call it, that one of those stops was at Disney. Quirky, Ryan Trahan staying at every hotel in Disney World, and then mischief, Eric secretly living in Disneyland for 7 days. One word, different filters, different videos that work on these channels and blew up. My word that we like to think about, because there's a lot of podcasts, a lot of interviews out there, we always filter our videos through one lens and one word, which is Masterclass. And this is what our team likes to ask. So does it feel like a creator masterclass, or is it just a gossip hour with our guests? Like, I'm not here asking about the relationships or the tea that's going on. No. I want to know, how did you get from A to B and break down the tactics just like we're doing in this talk? Will viewers write down tips as they watch our video? Will the questions I ask our guests lead to that? If not, I'm not asking the right questions. And can they immediately apply it, or are we just getting into fluff territory? That's how we think about it. And quick story, Netflix reached out and was like, hey, Matt Rife is coming out with a comedy special, and we're hoping that you could do an interview with him. So we did. It got 1 million views. But the questions that I asked Matt Rife, who's a very popular comedian, has gone on a lot of podcasts, is very different than other podcasters who are asking about his dating advice, finding love, his personal life. No. I want to know your tips for becoming a creator. I want to know how you built a team. I want to know how you handle your finances. Very different, but for our audience, and it worked. 1 million views. And by the way, for all the talk about personal brand and all that, I happen to think that's overthinking it. Just distill it to one word. I guarantee you, if you think about your one word, you'll start seeing that one word as you repeat it in your comments. Here's a masterclass for anyone trying to learn John is a gem for creator. YouTube, okay. I didn't know they were so active in the comments. We agree, class is in session. That was deliberate and intentional for months and years now of thinking about how we approach this with our one word, Masterclass. And by the way, it's also set us up to start different businesses for creators because we get into the finances, we talk about all the things that they do to build their team. And as I was thinking, okay, we're in year 4, year 5 of our journey as a creator, we're getting approached to start different businesses to think about, okay, is it a consumer packaged good like a Feastable or a Joyride? No, that doesn't really work with our audience. Or is it, and I kid you not, I never thought I'd get excited about taxes. But distilling our content down to one word has helped us start a company called Boring Stuff, where we now handle the bookkeeping and taxes for creators. It's crazy. I think about this quote: the only 2 things that are definite in life are death and taxes. And I'm not starting a morgue. But this company, I'm telling you, starting with and Varun here, who's one of the people dancing, if you want to say hi to him afterwards, is our CEO. So doing this and building a business on top of content, or if you have a business and thinking about your content, it goes hand in hand with your one word. And that's the link there for anybody who wants to check it out. Okay. Last thing, and last few things, and I want to get to Q&A. Clip before you get clipped. Okay, we're in the era of clipping right now. Long form goes to short form. And if I could share a story, because I think a lot of people think about, okay, short form leads to long form, but there's also short form leading to other short form, and this other thing I like to call the flood method. So you already have seen this on YouTube. They launched a feature about a year ago where you could take the short and upload a link that goes to a long form. So we did an interview with Liza Koshy, we clipped it down, and then we put it as a link to our long form, and that brought extra traffic. What people don't realize is that you could also do things like the flood method. And Jimmy actually does this for a lot of his videos on Mr. Beast. If you actually look at his shorts, you can see that related link to a short, every time, just about every time they upload a new video, they update all the links, it takes some time, and then they flood one video. Think about how genius that is. Very few people do it. Something to think about for your next long form if you have short form, and try to think about that bridge. And then the other thing is, if you have a good piece of content, get ready for it to get clipped. But the tough thing is that yes, exposure and getting your clips out there is good, but there's also truth to be told about if something gets clipped on somebody else's channel, there's so much more friction to come back to your channel. So it's better that you clip yourself, because I saw this firsthand. We had this interview with Danny Duncan that got over 2.5 million views. All of a sudden, people are clipping it outside of my channel. They got 15 million views on a clip, 600,000 views, 1 million views. But how many of those views came back to my channel? I don't know. I will say there's a ton of friction versus what you saw with my Liza Koshy short, where there's a link, you go there, you click, you watch. This, they have to search, Danny Duncan interview, hopefully they click on the right one. And we use a tool called Opus Clip. We've used it for a while, where it takes your most relevant moments from your long form, and then it figures out the virality score, and then it gives you that right there on steroids. And so and Audacity and other companies are using this to do this to an even greater degree as Opus launches more products like Opus Search, and also taking all the library of content that you may have and putting it through and giving you clips. So it's just a great time to be a creator who's focusing on long form, but then trying to clip yourself before other people clip you to really get after that low-hanging fruit that exists out there. So I just thought that was really interesting, and Opus is one of the leaders in this space doing it. But if I had to close things out, I know we've talked a lot about music, we've had a lot of dancing, but I'd say if you only remember one thing from this talk, it's that you got to be more like Mozart. And I know it sounds weird to cite Mozart at a conference like South by Southwest, or maybe it doesn't, because music is a big deal here, but I talked a bit about at the beginning how my desktop looks like this, how I got and still do get anxiety about my uploads and being a perfectionist. But if we rewind 300 years ago, and we talk about one of the biggest badasses of all time, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, most people do not know that the secret to his success was not that he was this master hit making machine. No. If you look at the research, one of the reasons why Mozart was so great was because he was so prolific. Despite dying at the young age of his mid-30s, he made 600 compositions in his lifetime, which is far, far more than his peers, who probably overthought their songs, didn't put out as much, and left a ton on the cutting room floor. And they only made 150 compositions. And if you look throughout time, there's tons of other examples, like the inventor who made this creepy cyborg doll that got ridiculed, just like some of Mozart's compositions and songs and music got ridiculed for being a bit too noisy. That was actual criticism that he got, just like the inventor of that was Thomas Edison, who had 1,093 patents. He's prolific. He kept putting stuff out there, and there's a ton of duds that we forget for the masterpieces and inventions that we now remember. But if there's one example that just truly breaks my heart, it's Monet. The legendary artist made 2,000 works of art in his lifetime. But if I'm being honest, that number should be way higher. And there's this one story that just really gets me when I started digging through it. He was once getting ready for years for this exhibit where he had these paintings that he was about to debut in Paris. Everything was ready to go. The paintings were ready. They were right out there in front of him, framed, ready to put up on the wall of the museum. And all of a sudden, he looks at the corners of the different paintings, and he decides it's not perfect enough for him. So what does he do? He takes out a knife and slashes through every single one of those paintings. Every single one of those paintings. And scholars now estimate that that night he destroyed over $3.4 million worth of art. Just because it wasn't perfect enough for him. And it really got me thinking that maybe we should be more like Mozart, not Monet. Maybe we have ideas that we get too in our heads about that people would love if we just shipped it. If we didn't worry about the imperfections, if we just put stuff out there. Because if I could fast forward to today, past our first year, where we uploaded an embarrassing 6 videos, I'm proud to say we've now uploaded over 173 videos. Thank you. That have gotten over 300 million views. And if I'm being honest with you guys, some of our best videos were our most imperfect. I look back at them, and I'm like, oh my God, the color could have been better. We could have upped this, we could have done that. This shot was blurry, got 49 million views. The audio could have been crisper, got 3.2 million views. And I now realize that cringing at your past self is proof of progress. If you're not cringing at your past work, who's binging at your current work? And the other thing I realize is that perfectionism is procrastination in disguise. Yes, there is a time to perfect and make things better, but you gotta ask yourself, are you doing that for yourself? Or you're doing that for your community, your fans, and the people who would love to see it in the form that you got it to? Perfectionism is procrastination in disguise, most times. And I gotta say, that the only thing worse than something imperfect in this world when it comes to your art, it comes to your content, it comes to whatever ideas are in your head, the only thing worse than something imperfect is something that doesn't exist. So be more like Mozart, not Monet. Roll out the red carpet. And thank you so much, South by Southwest, for being an amazing audience. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, we got some time for Q&A. I'll try to hang out afterwards. I will also say, like, if I could ever be helpful, to me, these events are the start of the conversation, not the end of that. Here's my contact information. Don't be afraid to DM me. I like to respond to as many as I can. The hack pack that I shared here, if you guys want to get them. Also, outliers, we share that on our newsletter. But I want to answer as many of the questions as we can here, rapid fire, and then I'll try to be around afterwards. But again, thank you guys for being an amazing audience. Okay, all right, here we go. First question, I'm looking at the screen here, what's been getting the most upvotes. Somebody asked, what early metric should creators watch more closely to know if an idea will take off? Honestly, I think the early metric that you should take a look at is the metric of AVD, average view duration. Are people watching something for long enough? And then your CTR, the click-through rate on the video. So the CTR is how many people are clicking on the thumbnail, and the AVD is how many people are staying if you match the expectation. So look at those two in addition to looking at outliers on other channels in your niche. All right, let's keep going. Imran asks, if you're starting a channel today with 0 audience, what format would you experiment with first? I would start short form, I would do long form. In fact, I did a lot of the similar stuff when we started off. It was all on the street interviews before we had enough subscribers, enough traction to then build up our funds, go all in on our production, and then go long form, hour and a half, 2 hours with our interviews. So I would start short form, go long form. Honestly, on the street interviews, I happen to think that we're in such an echo chamber today that somebody who follows you and is opting into getting your content, you're helping break through their echo chamber by interviewing and talking to somebody on the street. You're giving them something that they wouldn't already follow, or just giving them a slice of America or wherever you live. Okay. Is there an easy way to find trending audio? IG is a primary platform for my business. Okay, yeah, there is. If you go through, there's some pages that curate trending audio, but then also, I believe Instagram, when you go in to find the audio, they'll suggest ones that are trending, and you want to keep an eye out on what the platform is looking for, because a lot of times they'll want their organic and original trends to go out there, so keep an eye on that. What are the best practices for making instructional content, like your Masterclass style for teaching? Oh, this is good. Okay. How many people here make educational content? Cool. What, shout out some genres, niches. What's that? Mindset. Okay, cool. Cool. What else? What? Higher ed. Real estate. Cool. Great. What? Financial. Okay, mindset. Real estate, all right. Software? One more? Kids? Okay. You got to find an entertaining angle. So think about what I like to call is the virality Venn diagram. And on one side of the Venn diagram is your industry and what people care about, and the other side is your expertise. And you want to find in the middle what you could talk about that the most people are interested in. So if I was thinking about real estate, just to dive into that, there's a ton of real estate shows right now, like Selling Sunset, Owning Manhattan, that have a lot of interest in pop culture. If I were you, I would break down why a lot of the stuff in Selling Sunset may be too sensational, and you know, like if you're a real estate agent, break down like, no, here's how I would approach selling this house, and here's what's being done for the cameras versus what should be done in reality when you're looking for a real estate agent, and here's like my tips. Come look me up if you're in this area. Interesting, goes after the virality Venn diagram, yeah. Thoughts, tips for Substack, and I think this could be like extended to Kit and other platforms as well, where it's like the written word. I think that you really got to be consistent. Like we have a newsletter that goes out every week, and then we also have evergreen content that goes out every Sunday. So my tip, if you're starting a Substack or you're starting a newsletter that really heavily focuses on written content, I think you have to consider 2 different pillars. One is evergreen, like what can you save up and put out to a new subscriber every single Sunday or every day of the week, where they'll get something regardless of what's happening in the news. So if you go to that QR code that we had on, or if you go to created.news or ythackpack.com, you'll get all the freebies that we talked about, but then every Sunday, you'll get our Sunday comics. And those are 25 custom illustrations that I made with the illustrators who worked on different publications like the New Yorker, and they all have different tips with a little bit of comedy involved. And those are things that go out to you every Sunday, the day you sign up. But then every Thursday, we will break down the latest news in the creator economy. We'll look at the trending stories on Monday or Tuesday. I'll give my take on like, hey, Instagram announced this. Here's what you should actually think about. This YouTuber just did this. Here's why it's interesting. We'll do a roundup of all the best thumbnails, all the best outliers, and that takes a lot of work every week. So having something on the Sundays that's evergreen gives us 2 pieces of content to deliver to give you that good experience versus trying to, overwhelm ourselves by having to write 2 custom pieces of content and not deliver. So those are the things that I'd like to think about. I see we're coming up at time. If you guys want to reach out, DMs, I'll be around here. Thank you again for being an amazing audience. Dancing just as amazing. I really appreciate you guys.